November 14th, 1995. A freezing night in Beijing. The kind where the wind slices through your skin like invisible blades. As the clock struck 11 p.m., the final bus 3:30 rumbled out of the Yuanmingyuan terminal, unaware that this would be its last journey. Forever. Among the passengers were a handful of ordinary-looking people, a quiet elderly couple, a young couple lost in conversation, and a few scattered late-night commuters. The dim lighting flickered slightly, casting eerie shadows across the empty seats. Everything seemed normal until they reached the third stop. At Beigongmen Station, two men dressed in ancient Qing Dynasty robes appeared on the platform. Their expressions were rigid, their faces unnaturally pale. The driver hesitated for a moment, but eventually opened the doors. The two men silently stepped on board, their movements slow and almost unnatural. The ticket collector, though uneasy, did her job as usual, asking for their fare. But the men did not respond. Instead, they quietly walked to the very last row of seats, shrouded in shadows. As the bus continued down the dark, empty streets, the atmosphere turned increasingly unsettling. The young couple felt an unnatural chill creeping up their backs, while the elderly couple remained eerily silent, their heads down as if in deep thought. Then, without warning, the old man suddenly stood up and shouted at the ticket collector, "This bus is cursed!" The collector flinched, startled. She turned to the elderly man, confused. "What do you mean?" she asked, her voice trembling. The old man's eyes were dark, his face pale. He pointed at the two men in the back. "Look closely. They have no feet." A wave of terror washed over the bus. The ticket collector felt her blood run cold as she turned her gaze toward the last row. The men were floating. Their legs were nowhere to be seen. Panic struck like lightning. The elderly man grabbed his wife's hand and whispered something to the ticket collector. Moments later, he shouted to the driver that they had lost their wallet and needed to get off immediately. Still puzzled but sensing urgency, the driver pulled over near Wanquanhe Bridge. The old couple and the ticket collector rushed off the bus without a second glance. The bus doors closed. The engine roared. Bus 330 disappeared into the darkness. It was never seen again. The horror unfolds the next morning. At dawn, every news station in Beijing broadcasted a chilling story. A burnout bus was discovered near a remote reservoir. The number? 330. The passengers? Missing. The driver? Vanished. The cause? Unknown. What made the case even more disturbing was what the authorities found inside the fuel tank. It wasn't gasoline. The bus was running on human blood. To this day, Bus 330 remains one of Beijing's greatest unsolved mysteries. Was it a paranormal incident? A cruel hoax? A cover-up by authorities? Nobody knows. To this day, Bus 330 remains one of Beijing's greatest unsolved mysteries. Was it a paranormal incident? A cruel hoax? A cover-up by authorities? Nobody knows.